This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishikesh.
Radio 1.
Guest of the day, it's Arvind Iyengar. He's from Sports Interactive. What's up, Arvind? How's it going?
Going very well. Excellent to be here. First off, happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Anniversary for Radio 1.
We're such toddlers. We're two. We're still babies, taking baby steps. Speaking of which, Dr. Sanjay Arora, the journey in between what you once were and who you are now becoming is where the dance of life really takes place. Very eloquent. Thank you so much, Doc. Best wishes, my friend. He says, we're wishing ourselves second anniversary. Sports Interactive, your CEO there. First and foremost, just spell it out. What do you guys do?
Sports Interactive, well, a bunch of different things, but to put it simply, it's revolutionizing the sports fan experience across all kinds of platforms, right? So whether a fan is consuming sports content on the web, on the mobile, on TV, on print, we want to be in that space and providing engaging sports content and building great products. We work with the likes of a Star Sports, a Cricinfo in building a number of different products ranging from data to advanced analytics to fantasy games.
I just love the way sport has changed. It's like a Star Trek set. Guys sitting, standing with screens behind them, zooming out, zooming in. Digital simulators, that's really got to be the future, isn't it? Yeah?
That's, I think, definitely a part of it. Right? I think a combination of just the way technology has evolved and the amount of data that's available is going to lead to digital simulation, advanced metrics, analytics, and just make the fan understand the game a lot more and bring in compelling content.
Mm-hmm. And considering the World Cup in football is just around the corner, do you have anything special lined up? Any solutions that you're providing your clients?
We've got a few different ones. So the World Cup obviously is huge, a global event, not just India, and we're building out a number of different products. I think the most exciting one is an infographics engine that we're building out. So very simply put, it's let's make data sexy, right? So everyone likes stats and numbers, but it's not easiest when you look at tables and bar graphs. We're just visualizing it in a different way, but also bringing out analytics that fans haven't seen. So that's going to be a big push, along with a lot of fantasy games as well during the World Cup.
So were you a Tambram who was forced to go to Stanford, or you went yourself? Just joking, don't take it.
It's actually a fair question. I could spend an hour answering that, but lucky to have a family.
Because you know how it is in our community, yo? I mean, they ask you about your degrees before they ask you about your name, man.
Correct. You think our names are long, it's the degrees that are even longer, right? But, no, that was
man after my own heart. But yeah, answer that question, man. Stanford, yeah?
Stanford was good. More a personal choice. Wanted to go there, just entrepreneurial, Bay Area. So it fit the Tambram bill well because you've also got a nice set of restaurants there.
Oh, you do?
I got better South Indian food there than I did in Bombay, actually.
What are you saying?
Sarvana Bhavan, there's Madras Cafe.
Yeah, better than Matunga joints? Yeah.
Matunga is the only one that comes close. Compared to the Udupi ones.
Definitely better than the Bangladeshi restaurants in Europe, man.
Let's not even start with that.
Sweet. Bruce Springsteen fan, he's out of the new song. Yeah?
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and it's already number one on the Billboard Hot 100. It's called High Hopes. Listen to it and tell me what you feel. Yeah, Arvind Raghavan in studio. More conversation about sport with him. It's 9:06. Good morning. It's the boss. He's gone folks way. But then, like I was just telling Arvind Iyengar off the mic, when you've been in the business for almost half a century, I imagine you got to set challenges for yourself, which is why there's a drastic change in the structure of the sound. I think it started off from the Ghost to Tom Joad album. 9:10 in the morning. Arvind Iyengar is with Sports Interactive, a B2B sports content business. They have gained an immense reputation for state-of-the-art hosted solutions, digital simulators, match centers, fantasy games, and the likes. You were saying you have high hopes?
Yes, exactly. I was going to say that was a very appropriate song for us at Sports Interactive. So thanks for playing that out. High hopes for the future. It's been a great story so far, but we really want to grow this business much faster. And sports being the way it is, especially in India, I think that's going to happen.
Talk about how you're serving as a catalyst for strategy. I mean, there's so many other things other allied things to cricket, like, for example, projecting what's going to happen with a batsman, where he might even get out. Yeah, sure. A bit about that.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of analysis because we've got a ton of data, right? So we've got data dating back to the history of cricket, and then more recently we've captured ball-by-ball data. What that tells us is something like when Virat Kohli gets out caught in one-day internationals, about 11 times he's been out caught at slips, 11 times at long on, right, and 9 times at long off, right? So much more. These are 3 areas he's most prone to getting out caught than anywhere else, right? So immediately, if I'm New Zealand, if I study that data, that should tell me when a bowler comes into bowl, even if the batsmen are scoring freely, put a slip in place for Kohli. He's susceptible out there. And then if you're trying to get him to hit deep, he holds out straight to the wicket compared to mid-wicket and cover very stronger. So maybe you want to try and bowl, pitch it up a little bit and try to get him to hole out in that area, right? So there's a lot of analysis you can do just with data, but it's also then presenting that to a fan, which he or she may not see today, and we'll be powering that through web and hopefully with our partners on broadcast and other mediums where they can see this data like never before.
So you're saying actually you could tell me, if I wanted to know, how many times Messi actually takes a strike at goal,
yes,
and or passes it to a compatriot round about the penalty area.
Yes, exactly.
You could, yeah?
Yes, you could do exactly that, because football is another great example, right? We've got something we call tier 6 coverage, which means we capture every touch. So we can tell you how many times Messi has touched the ball in a football game.
Wow.
Right? And then has that touch led to a goal? Has that touch led to a pass? What ended up with each of it, right? So you can then do analysis on how teams do or players do on set pieces, on counter attacks, and much, much more, right? So there's the richness of data, and we're just at the early stage of bringing that richness to fans.
And mobile interactive solutions. I mean, you're one of the pioneers of that in the last FIFA World Cup, which was 2010. And what do you have on the anvil for the next one with a look back at the past and what you did?
Sure. So I think if you look back at last year, we built a lot of apps, tournament trackers, to just help people follow the World Cup and be able to say what's happening with each team, player, etc. And of course, we do all this partnering with brands, with media companies, with publishers. I think this year there's just going to be a whole new suite of products that comes out, which is going to just give fans much more information up front, right? So predictive analysis before a game, or what are the things to watch out for a Messi, for instance, or a team tracker. If you're a big fan of Argentina, we'll just create a tracker that tells you, here's their progress, here's their keys to success, here are their players, right? And obviously things like what if scenarios. You've got a group of death, Germany, Portugal drawn together again in what's not an easy group, right? So what do each of them need to do to get through, right? So lots of different pieces out there, all brought into mobile, and mobile, like you just said, is the next big wave, right? It's already where most people are consuming information today, and it's just going to go faster and faster in India with the likes of 4G coming out, smarter phones, affordability. And that's really the next big wave.
What's your website if people want to check out Sportz Interactive?
Sure, it's www.sportzinteractive.com. That's sports spelt with a Z.
Yeah, that's important. SPORTZ Interactive. Go check it out. It's the Sugar Babes. Push the button. And messages after that. I'm going to use these few minutes to put up pictures of Arvind Iyengar in studio. Twitter.com/HRISHIKAY and Facebook.com/HRISHIKAY. Like the page, and you can see pictures on the timeline. You can ask questions on those two social networking platforms, or one space your question and name to 53650. Mr. Philip Collins in his solo avatar. It's only you know and I know. Good morning, Brilliant SK. Happy to you. He says, double the fun, double the celebration. See you soon at 3. You're a poet, my friend. It's about our second anniversary. Mihir Bijod here's wishing 94.3 Radio on a very happy second anniversary. You're the reason why Mumbai stays sane on the way to work and back. Thank you, brother. Ali Pali, happy second birthday. Keep playing awesome music. Ayer Baba, happy anniversary to you. As Cool the Gang sings Let the Music Take Your Mind. It's the best station Mumbai has. Hey, Hrishikesh. Himanshu Shinde, good morning. Congratulations on the second anniversary. Good to have you guys around. Happy seconds is Kedar Mandale. Karan Shah, best wishes. Way to go. Prashant Sarangi, good morning. Arvind reminds me of Brad Pitt from the movie Moneyball.
I'm glad he said Brad Pitt and not the analyst on the side, Jonah Hill.
Yeah, correct. Ron Kanchan, 1-2. Many more to go. Congratulations.
You can validate how I resemble Brad Pitt a little bit.
As long as you have a Jolie in your life, which I'm sure your wife will not like. But anyway, Hiren Shani, good morning. And Shawbet, fun-loving bhai, says, hey, are the Sports Interactive guys on Twitter or Facebook? The website shows no info of their presence. The website that Arvind, you just mentioned. Talk about that, please.
Sure, yeah. We do have a Facebook presence. Just, we're also in the midst of updating our site. So we'll go live with a new one in a couple of weeks. But on Facebook, you can follow us on facebook.com/sportsinteractive. That's again, sports with a Z at the end of it. So we've got that going. We don't have a Twitter presence right now, but we've got individual members on it. So I'm on Twitter.
Okie dokie. More conversation with him.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishikesh.
Radio 1.
Okay, one of your previous gigs, other than NBA New York, before Sports Interactive, was also ESPN. And you did something very interesting in the Rafa Nadal versus Roger Federer space. You got to tell us about that.
Sure. Big tennis fan, and make no bones about the fact that I'm a big Nadal fan, but also respect Federer. And I think back in 2008, when Nadal won his first Wimbledon, that epic 5-set final, I did my first article on ESPN Star at the time, which was who's the greatest tennis player of all time. So this was a ranking system that looked at player performance, Grand Slam wins, year-end rankings, etc. But the open era. So unfortunately, someone like a Lever wasn't considered because you didn't have ATP rankings, pre-72. And so when you did all of that at the time, you had Federer and Sampras at the top. Nadal at the time was just breaking into the top 10 because he won his first non-French Open. And if you redo it now, you'll clearly see tiers of players emerge. In that top tier really is Federer on top right now, as much as it pains me to say that. But Nadal and Sampras close by at 2. Nadal just ahead of Sampras just because of Grand Slam wins across surfaces, Olympic gold, etc. But Sampras has more year-end number ones that helps him. But these three really stand out. And then you've got the next set, which is Borg, Connors, and Lendl. And then after that, you've got Agassi and McEnroe. And then you've got Djokovic just coming up there. And after that, you have the Becker, Wielanders, and Edbergs. And Murray is coming up on that list as well. So, it's interesting when all of this settles down. We give this 2-3 years. Just looking at the greatest of all time, at least got data to analyze it. You could actually look at a number of stats and say who's the best. And it's going to come down to being very close between Rafa and Roger in the end.
I've got to say this to you, that in the years gone by, if you were a Stefan Edberg fan, you ended up hating Boris Becker. If you're a Boris fan, you ended up hating Stefan. Likewise for the McEnroe-Connors era. If you're a McEnroe fan, you didn't care much for Jimmy Connors. In this era, irrespective of which side you're on, if you love Roger Federer, you don't hate Nadal. You still have a healthy amount of respect for him. And I'm saying that because I'm a Federer fan. Likewise, for a Nadal worshipper like you, I don't think you hate Roger. I mean, you give him that respect. You think tennis is missing a bad boy?
Vijay Amrita said this on TV, right? He said tennis doesn't have a bad boy today. You don't have a workman like Lendl whose style was so contrasting, or a McEnroe who was clearly the bad boy of tennis. Tennis is missing a bad boy, but with some of the younger guys coming up, you've seen that intensity. That might change. You might see fewer politically correct interviews at the end of games now, but with these 4, all great ambassadors for the game, which is what I think helps elevate tennis to that next level.
Lady Gaga, applause. I have the song lined up for you. You want to dedicate it to somebody? Go for it.
So I want to dedicate it to a couple of people. One to Radio 1. Give yourselves a round of applause for 2 great years. And 2 for my wife. I think she deserves a big hand. It's a big favorite song of hers. And also a big hand for putting up with me and some of the late nights at work. So here's to you, Jigisha.
Arvind Iyengar is CEO at Sports Interactive. More conversation with him. It's 9:33. I'm Hrishikesh. Applause by Lady Gaga. Arvind Iyengar, Sports Interactive's CEO, just dedicated that to his wife, doing the politically correct thing. Okay, the brand solutions. You've got to keep your antenna up as far as that is concerned. Rather, brand conversations. So, what is Sports Interactive up to as far as that is concerned?
It's interesting you asked that, Rishi. I think brands are involved a lot in sports, right? Just because they're spending a lot on whether it's sponsorship, getting involved. Sports is where you get a lot of exposure. And we've done works with brands both globally as well as locally. Good example is with Castrol with their whole cricket sponsorship, where we built out a portal for them, but also created unique metrics and analytics that help Castrol stand out from the clutter, so to speak, right? So instead of just having your name on a board, could you put up more? Could you put out insights that help fans realize that this brand is doing something with sports that are very different? And we're doing that with brands in terms of whether it's building web solutions, driving some activation campaigns, and really creating compelling content that's going to stand out for a sports fan to build that connect with the end audience. And so, brands is definitely a focus for us. We've done work, and I think for a brand that's willing to invest and knows that they can reach this niche of sports fans, Sports Interactive can offer very compelling solutions. And
you and me have something in common. You also made it to the top. I was in the top 5. I think you were in the top 2 of the ESPN Dream Job, the Harshaki Khoj reality show. I don't know whether it was called Harshaki Khoj in your time. Was it called?
It was called the Dream Job. So slightly different names for various reasons.
My judges were Perizad Zorabian, who's now a friend, lovely Perry, and of course Wasim Akram and Ray Hume, who was heading ESPN at that time. Who are your judges?
Mine were Sharon Van Zwieten, who is an executive producer on ESPN, Ravi Shastri and Mandira Bedi.
And who pipped you at the post?
This is a gentleman named Jatin. He's still with ESPN.
I see him.
So he's still there. Very good guy. I think he was good on talent, and I think fun experience that eventually still landed me a gig in with ESS, and I moved to Singapore and was doing some work with them. But it was a fun experience, right?
And we use Radhakrishnan Srinivasan for football. RK and you are mates, yeah? Have you met him?
No, actually. No, not yet. So didn't do much work with Star, but yeah, he was around from that first season as well, right? So and a lot of other guys. You see guys like Manish Batavia, who's around from your season, seeing him on TV these days as well. He's still been with Star. So small little community, you end up meeting everyone one after the other.
And are you going to say never to a sports broadcasting career? I mean, you're in sports, but in an entirely different way. I'm just asking you.
I think full-time little hard, right? Just because I think there's just a lot of exciting and unique challenges here, and got to put that MBA to some use, right? So
absolutely, my friend. Some messages and back, more pictures of Arvind Iyengar. He's CEO of Sports Interactive on twitter.com/HRISHIKAY. You can follow me there on facebook.com/HRISHIKAY. Like the page and view the pictures. 9:39 live. I'm Hrishikesh.
94.3 Radio 1.
Pharrell Williams, big winner at the Grammys. Yo, I liked his hat. Happy by Pharrell Williams at 9:50 in the morning. Nilesh Deshmukh has a question for you. Arvind Iyengar, what is your take on in-stadia digital interaction in India and the infrastructure for that? Will it ever happen? Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think short answer is yes and yes. It will happen, and the infrastructure needs to build up, but we've already done stuff. For instance, in the 2011 Cricket World Cup final, we've done stuff with Castrol, where we're showing the Castrol worm on the replay screen. And I think that's just early parts where it's one way. I think interactivity with that replay screen and being able to build that engagement for people in stadiums is what will happen. And we'd love to talk to IPL teams or cricket grounds around the world and other sports as well, because it's just a matter of time before that interaction kicks in.
Abhishek, happy to Hrishikesh. Arvind, do you have any simplified portable analytic tool for grassroots basketball? Maybe on mobile or on the pad? Your answer to that.
So, simplified, I don't know. We've got some complex ones which we've done with the NBA through Stats, which is our parent company based in the US. So we've got some tools out there. I'm sure we could create a grassroots one. That hasn't been a focus right now. So short answer, no today, but we've got complex ones, and to skin that to something simpler wouldn't be that hard, I'd say.
Alan DeMello, good morning. Happy birthday, Radio 1. Keep rocking the airwaves. He says, Anderson Gomes, happy to see you guys at Radio 1 doing your 2. May you soon have a 3 sometime. Good show, bro. Keep it up. Good morning to you. Good morning, brother. Sanjeev Prakash, it's been 2 years already. I've just won 1 prize only on your show. Happy birthday. There'll be lots more, I'm sure. Anupriya Asthana, who told you that Federer fans don't hate Nadal? I do. Anupriya, I stand corrected. The Gypsy Girl, hey, she can't tell Arvind I like him more now because he's a Nadal fan. All Nadal fans become my best friends by default. Shivani Raina Ghosh, hello darling, how are you? Congrats on 2 outstanding years of Music Madness, she says. Thank you.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishikesh.
Radio 1.
Okay, now this sounds really, really fancy, Arvind Iyengar. It says you have the distinction of being the first Indian to win the Henry Ford II scholarship for topping your class at Stanford. What were you on, man? What serial? Just to clarify. Yeah.
I don't know if you're talking TV serial or something else. I did watch a lot of Star Trek growing up, but
that did the trick.
That probably is the Spock inspiration, right? So live long and prosper and think logically. No, but it was obviously
such an honor,
hard work, but also you need some luck to get these awards. And Stanford is just a great place, collaborative classmates. So I mean, the award's great, but I think the overall experience of being with that class, I think, was just eye-opening, and it has helped me, at least when I think about sports and wanting to do more. A lot of that got shaped at Stanford, and I think that's what's also fueled this desire to come to Sports Interactive and grow this business like crazy.
Stanford is where Mr. Jonathan McEnroe, the wizard with the racket, also went to, right? And he played NCAA for Stanford.
Yeah, he's an interesting character to come out of there. Phil Knight, who started Nike, is also from the business school. Lots of other people out there right now if you look at the sports world. So.
And you're a Siebel scholar. What does a Siebel scholar mean?
So Tom Siebel from the Siebel Foundation, a big company, launches again the scholarship where they award 5 students from each program, and they've selected a few programs, awards for a combination of academics and all-round personal accomplishment, so extracurricular activities and of the like. So again, was one of the 5 from Stanford Business School at the end of the first year to win that. So lucky for that. And
last thing before you go, your coordinates at Sportz Interactive. Where can people find out more about all the solutions you guys provide?
Sure. Again, it's www.sportzinteractive.com. Sports with a Z. So SPORTZ interactive.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/sportsinteractive. And you can always just contact us through the website. So feel free to reach out, anyone.
Thanks so much, mate. Full fun talking to you, yeah?
Thanks so much, Rishi.
Okay, rounding up the hour with Jennifer Lopez and Ain't It Funny? Up ahead, John Abraham with Man of the Year 2013.